The clown that for working for CNN, Jim Acosta, I guess, that he lost his press pass. Well, the guy is a disruptive clown. He wasn't following the rules. Okay, they have rules in there, to be act civilized. He's not the only guy that had questions to ask. And when the moderator tried to take the microphone away from him, the guy held it tighter, wouldn't allow her, pushed her away, and just kept talking, and like he was going to run the show. I mean, he's a repugnant fellow, and yeah, I mean, he deserves what he gets in my mind. I talk about pedestrian safety, and I really do care about that. I've got 45 years of driving under my belt, and I'm very happy that I've never hurt anybody in that whole time. But my odds keep going up the longer I drive. I realize that, so I've got to be ever increasingly more cautious. So I recommend everybody is. And understand this, with all this homelessness everywhere in America, you understand that there is homelessness that I put two and two together. They say, you know what, I'm not a criminal, so I'm not going to go out and break the law. And I'm not suicidal, so I'm not going to go kill myself. But I've got an idea, right? They got an idea. They're going to get hit by a car, and their mind, they don't want it to be lethal, but if they could just get disabled, then they could easily go on Social Security disability. Do you understand? So there's people out there, I strongly contend, that are deliberately trying to get hit by a car, either riding their bicycles recklessly, pushing a shopping cart down the road, whatever they're doing, crossing haphazardly, just walking too far out in a lane. I mean, there's a lot of ways people can get hit by a car, okay? And it doesn't matter whose fault. I mean, the pedestrian still, if he lives through it, he's going to be able to collect disability if he's, badly, both his legs are busted beyond repair. So just remember that when it comes to driving carefully and watching for pedestrian safety, and my concern, I believe they all ought to be lit up. If they're walking at night off a sidewalk, make them all wear lights. And bicyclists, give them tickets, riding the wrong say on the side of the road. And they've got the same laws as automobiles. They've got to have lights at night, tail lights and headlights. Yes, enforce that law. Police officers, law enforcement, please. Highway patrol, please. You're driving on the same streets. You're seeing the same stuff as me. God, let's bust these people, man. Bust them, and just for their own good, man. You're saving lives. You're saving life and limb out there by doing this thing I'm asking. And I don't, just could you imagine having to live with it? How about your kids out there driving and them having to live with hitting some guy? It might not be their fault at all. Like I said, the guy might have done it on purpose, got hit by a car. But they're going to have to live with it. So that's why I avoid accidents. I'm a very defensive driver. I don't want to have to live with it. I don't care whose fault it is or isn't. I don't want to have to live with it. So, yeah, I'm a big proponent of highway safety, pedestrian safety. Tucker Carlson got doxxed, from Fox News. Violent mob showed up at his private residence where he's got his wife and kids living. And, this is the kind of thing people like Maxine Waters has called for. And Harvey Levin, he's just in love with Maxine Waters. He can't say nothing bad about her. She's fine. But she's out there spewing this hatred, telling everybody, you got to get in their face. Blah, 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 blah. She's the meanest person, meanest spirited person I have ever heard. I tell you what, meaner than Pelosi, and I don't like her. I mean, it's Feinstein. I mean, she's mean spirit. I don't like her. And a lot of the men, too, but these are just a few of the women that come to mind. But, I mean, Tucker Carlson's a good guy, man. Leave the poor guy alone. His family, I mean, they should all put them up, round him up, man. Put him in jail. You do that kind of crap, man. How dare you come to somebody's private residence and pull that crap? That's horrific, man. I mean, you're asking for trouble. I mean, you're inviting somebody to act violently when you do that kind of stuff. So don't do it. Don't do it, man. All right, on to some thoughts from the last couple of weeks here. Start where I left off. I sincerely feel sorry for the whole human race. The saddest part is that evidently the vast majority of people just don't get it. That it is the root of all evil, not some of the evil. That's right, folks, my friends. I'm telling you, the root of all evil, ladies and gentlemen, is the love of money. And all you can do is look after old number one. Purge your own heart. Make sure that you invite God in to keep you straight on the straight and narrow toward a better world, a better existence. Because this one blows. Ultimate irony. American taxpayers, i.e., everyone in America, pays $50 billion annually to subsidize housing costs for poor people whom cannot afford to pay their own housing costs. And this is done through Section 8 housing subsidies. Yet the problem of people not being able to afford housing has skyrocketed as a direct result of this welfare subsidy grant under the pretense of making housing affordable to those who cannot afford it. So you as a taxpayer, me as a taxpayer, we're paying to make this problem worse, to exacerbate the problem of unaffordable housing and homelessness. And then we're going to keep going on this path, and we're not going to question it or demand change? Good God help us. Quoting Jesus in no way infers religiosity. The irony is that Jesus himself was accused of being religious. We have poverty in the 21st century for only one reason. Poverty is being artificially manufactured, implemented, and imposed for the sole purpose of theft. All those whom silently tolerate this status quo are ungodly, evil hypocrites on the highway to hell. That's my feelings. That if you just tolerate this without speaking out against it, this grave injustice, then you're one of them. By being indifferent and complacent about other people's problems. If you've ever met a truly mean, miserable, foul-mooded person, which may be found virtually anywhere, you can readily understand how their negativity very inevitably rubs off on you to some degree. This is what I have termed psychic osmosis. That's right. When you know somebody else is completely whacked out, it's gonna affect you. It's gonna hurt you. You're gonna be a little freaked out about them being so completely whacked out and freaked out and out of touch. Economic fairness is key to social harmony and political peace. Perception is reality, quote, but ignorance is not bliss. You can have your cake and eat it too, as long as you're willing and able to bake another. Familiarity does not breed contempt. And knowledge is power. So you understand the point I'm trying to get across is you just can't believe any idiom on face value. You have to question it. Some are true and some are not. Perception being reality, we say, well, we disagree that it should be. People should be willing to look at another perception and change their reality at will. But we understand the reality is that people have belief systems and they fight and die and kill others for their belief system because they feel passionately. Emotions are involved and all of our emotions are valid. So you understand that some of these things are made up. They're really stupid. They don't work as being like familiarity breeds contempt. But really, people fall deeper and deeper in love. If you're in love with your wife or husband, I mean, it just gets better and better and better, right? That's how it was with my wife. She had good grounds to leave me. I admit it's all my fault that she left me, but it didn't affect my love for her because it kept growing stronger and stronger. If she had stayed with me, my love would be stronger than ever for her today, but that's neither here nor there. But familiarity with my wife didn't breed contempt, and I think a lot of people could say that about their wife, husband, or children even, relatives, friends. So that doesn't hold water. So you yourself have to decide. Even stuff in Scripture says to test the spirit of what you read. Okay, you got to have corroborating information. So don't just believe stuff at face value. You got to ask, does this really make sense? So check it out and decide for yourselves. We're all... it's every one of our own individual obligation is to decide for ourselves the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth by seeking out the evidence, by learning, becoming educated, and empowered. We're also utterly and undeniably needy, and only God can help us. The lucky ones, by chance or choice, get it, and therefore take advantage of the amazing grace of God. Yeah, don't take it for granted, that grace, but take advantage of it, by all means. Though we all have a strong